Oh crap, that's not it. Is that it? No. Wait, is it? Huh? I don't even know what's happening. Oh, there
Wait,
it is.
this is our first. This is our first episode, everyone. Josh has never done this before. Don't give
No,
him some time.
I'm never gonna get it. So don't even worry about it. Ever, ever, never going to get it right. So
It's okay. Welcome all. We are Murder Moose, a part of the Slash and Cast podcast network, and I
it's
mean
in
this
the
is.
game.
It's true, Josh. But I was gonna say another week in Murder Moose where we literally go as we were coming on together, going, "Are we talking about Megan or the menu?" And and because the Murder Moose way, we're now
Well, we
talking
all
about.
saw the thing.
Yep.
Okay, we said it
Right.
at the end of the last episode. The menu was like a safe choice, and we
Yeah.
if you actually made it there, we said we would like to see Megan, but we didn't know if we were going to be able to. So we
I
said
know.
safe choice menu, but fuck that. We went with the Megan choice.
The
It's all
Megan.
good.
We all managed to sneak out and go see it.
Exactly.
Dude, I saw it at 10:40 with the wife and my mod Vissy, who was in
Set
town.
to your camera, man. You got a logo over your head. There you go.
Sorry, I turned it over the other day. And Vissy, who's my mod, and Classy Katie's mod, and Katie and Zeke, and we went at 10:40 on Thursday. And I was like, I like the whole weekend. That is so late for me to go see a movie that I'm like.
But the thing this movie did right was it did the length that we like it. You know, it was just over an hour and a half. It's like a PG-13. I always like to call those lengths the nice light snack, because you could go back and rewatch this movie. It doesn't go overboard with too much, and like it leaves it so like everyone's been hearing. There's the unrated cut that is potentially going to be coming out as well. And when you see things like James Wan and Blumhouse, this is their first one out of the gate that they're going to be producing movies together now because of the contracts being up with their studios. This just makes me so fucking happy to be a horror fan.
I was telling Ken in her stream today, I saw that the woman who wrote this also wrote Malignant, and she wrote
The Nun 2.
The Nun 2, and I'm like, maybe I will actually see The Nun 2. And there was another one that I liked, and I'm like, this is a talented lady. And then like I think that there's a thing though that like the warning of like this movie, it's funny because it reminded me of Smile in a lot of ways, in the fact going in, I was like, this is either going to be really bad or really like fun, and there was like no in between. Like there was like no way in hell this was going to be just like in a middle of the road movie. Like any movie that has a trailer with a like weird gyrating robot that's
it's
like
so good. That's such a good scene though.
Oh, I mean, yeah, and it's the like most famous scene from the movie, obviously, because that was the scene that like. So the theory is, and I don't know if anyone's ever actually validated this fully, is that when they released that trailer, that particular thing went viral as fuck, like
on like TikTok,
insanely, and that it was so big that they were like, oh fuck, we got to do this, and so they cut it down to PG-13. And I guess that there was like words, like people were talking about it, that like if you lip read during the movie, you could see it a little bit, like they dubbed over because they were swearing. And I think the most obvious like thing that I noticed the whole thing in the whole movie was the scene with the bully boy and the ear.
Yeah.
That was like the thing that like stood out to me as like looked like that was the obvious, like, you know, like they edited out of it, but like it doesn't like it, you didn't need this movie to be R-rated. Like I actually think that the campiness in the PG-13 kind of gave it that like
well,
kind of like,
and it's going up against Child's Play and Chucky and like, you know, things in that realm. And if you look at the two side by side, like I've seen a lot of different horror podcasts and just like people that I follow doing, they're showing the like the meta score and the audience score of both films. And like, other than the look of the new Chucky itself, it didn't look right. That movie honestly didn't need to be Chucky, but they were attaching it so it had its audience and stuff.
It was the Child's Play name. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I liked it. It was fun. It was campy. It updated it well. It did the AI thing as well, and I felt like side by side, both movies were really well done and fun. But people are flocking to this and giving it such high praise. It's because it's fresh and new, and this is what we need, right? Like if that other one wasn't attached to Child's Play, it would have had an audience still, and I think it would have been received better because you don't have those like if you're a fan of the original, it doesn't look like the original. Just like when they redid fucking Freddy, he didn't look good. It just like it fucked with everything. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought, like, going back to what you guys were talking about with the PG-13 rating, because I had somebody that had tagged me on Twitter when we were talking about it, and they had mentioned that it looked like they wanted to wait till the rated R version to release. And I was like, yeah, like that totally makes sense. I could see why you would want that. But at the same time, I almost feel like if you're introducing a child to horror, this might be the best bet as far as a place to go, because it's not terribly gory. No. You know, you've got the scene in the woods and you've got a few places here and there. And then towards the end, a little bit, but it's not terribly gory. There's not a ton of swearing. Like if you're wanting to introduce a kid to horror, this is probably a good launching point.
Yep.
Totally.
But at the same time, it's enjoyable for adults. Just because I say that doesn't mean I was like really, really impressed by it, because again, I mean, like you guys mentioned, Chucky came up like many times while I was thinking about it. And there is this whole like, hey, it's girls, which is really fucking cool, because in Chucky, it's always been guys. And like, that's fine. Like, I'm not saying anything bad about that, but I thought that was really cool. And I really think they did a great job of like showing just like how kids are responsive. And I love the whole thing that where the psychiatrist, the child therapist, whatever, is talking about attachment theory. And I thought that was really great to kind of dive into while still maintaining this kind of kooky, fun, but also terrifying concept.
Yeah. It's really kind of a drama, like with like weird, I mean in a drama, like a thriller with a lot of like
it has heart
elements, right?
Heart for days. And that's what gives this movie legs and
you can feel
staying power. It's not just a movie that is about a Chucky ripoff or whatever. No. It has the horror movie cliches that we all love and need in a horror movie. If you put horror before anything, people like us go into it with like expectations, and it checked all those boxes, but then also gave us something more. There was feeling, there was heart, and there was I don't know, like I was talking to my niece about it, and because the trailer, she said it perfectly though. She's like, I don't know, like what did you think? Because the trailer was edited for fucking like millennials and like in a way for like young people, and it just looked so cheesy to me. And I'm like, all those, I totally see it for what you're saying, but like all those things were done so tastefully in this that it actually added to it, because it knew it was doing this, but then it did it, and it did it well on top of that. So
I mean,
and the soundtrack for this is so good. Like if you pull up the official soundtrack for this movie, it's really good. A friend of mine and I sat and like we're hunting down trying to find certain songs from the movie, as well as like the piano score.
Yeah.
Because it was so great. I will say the dance at first, I was like, this is I don't like this. But then I was like, well, okay, I could see why it would appeal to people though, because TikTok kind of runs everything right now anyway. So
yeah, TikTok is such a weird thing, because it's like I was watching a YouTube video the other day about how bands are using TikTok to like just grow and like in the example, the video I was talking about was like it was talking about Bad Omens and like how they're like their monthly listeners on Spotify went from like just over 1 million to like 2 million, because Just Pretend, one of their songs, like really blew up on like TikTok. And it's weird because it's like you see something like that goes big on TikTok, and it goes, and the thing that is insane with TikTok is that people stitch and people comment and do all this stuff together. So it's like you get all these videos that are like either using that sound or using whatever, or they're stitching with something, and it just like it's like a fucking virus almost, right? It's like,
Mhm.
do you guys remember when World of Warcraft had that like weird virus that like actually like
Mhm.
it's kind of what TikTok does now. It's like it fucking spreads because one TikTok is the like where all the, you know, what is it, Gen Zers are, they're like all there. Like Gen Zers, I've seen enough about TikTok where it's like they don't use like anything. They use like they use TikTok for everything. Like they use it for
Yep.
where they're going out, where they're getting food, where they're going to clubs. All that shit is for TikTok. And it's like when something blows up there, it's going, and we all know as old, like people in our 30s now, like, and then all that shit eventually trails over to Instagram in like 2 weeks. The joke is that it's like, I don't watch TikTok. I'm a proper adult. I wait for it to come over to Instagram 2 weeks later. And so like that's how
Like a real adult.
like a
Yeah.
real adult, exactly. But like so like
I
when
watch a
something
lot
like
of TikTok.
I go back and forth with it. Like I've been on Instagram Live a lot, like or Instagram like Shorts a lot. But like, yeah, it's. I mean, you also make a lot of TikToks, Ken. So like that's a lot too. But so when
It's a
something like
lot.
this blows,
He's saying
yeah,
it's a lot.
no,
A
I'm not
lot.
See, we
Brad,
can't
is
bust
it a
his
lot?
balls. We're not allowed to bust his balls.
You
Brad,
can
how
bust
much
my
is
balls.
it?
What?
Is it a lot?
That's a lot. Fuck you both.
What?
Screw you, Shorzy. Screw you, Shorzy. Fuck you,
What?
Shorzy.
What?
Yeah, fuck you. You're
What?
gonna go put it.
What? What?
Friends who are like musicians, and they'll go on TikTok and they'll be like, "Hey, make sure you go. What is it like to get notices when a song is getting ready to release on Spotify?" But they'll do posts about it, and then they'll do a lot of. I've got friends who are in bands who will do a, "Hey, if you use our sound and tag us, I'll follow you and I'll send you a message or whatever."
Yeah.
And then they blow up. I mean, like when Sam Smith did Unholy, it kind of bit him in the ass though, in a way, because the
Yeah.
like best part of the song was the only part that they like showed and that or played. And then when it came out, everybody was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh no.
But yeah, I think like it's doing a lot. Now, if DMCA people would please take a moment and look at how well TikTok does with improving the lives of artists, can we please discuss fixing DMCA laws? Because hot damn, do I miss having regular music on stream.
I sent you that video. Katie uses it, and you like. If,
I'm
like
gonna do it. I've got it bookmarked.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Her friend, who is a Just Dance streamer, figured it out or found that or something like that. And Just Dance, obviously, you're doing all that stuff. So yeah, I found more music through fucking Twitch than like anything in years, and like it just is so funny. Them like oh no, and it's insane. It's just because record companies are dying, right? And so it's like. They're just like money. They're like, it's like, the Terminator is like going into the fucking molten lava. They're like, as I'm grabbing Josh's penis also at the same time.
Oh, not again.
And yeah. So yeah,
I got hit for a DMCA the other day. They didn't do a full strike, thankfully, but I had played a TikTok of the girl doing the period, 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 and it's terrible. But we played it because we thought it was funny. There's no background music or anything that should be DMCA-able. It got hit with a DMCA, and the person that struck it was not even the company that had any affiliation with this girl. Nothing. No affiliation. And I was like, why don't you web crawl up my ass at this point? Because that's bullshit.
Why I will never understand. Like, there's this thing where like people never stay out of their fucking own business, man. It's like, just mind your goddamn business, motherfucker.
Yeah.
My returning theory in life is if I'm not hurting you or you're not hurting anyone else, leave me the fuck alone. I'll leave you the fuck alone. Just like but there are way too many people who are miserable motherfuckers and are just like, yeah, I'm gonna be miserable and I'm gonna make others miserable at the same time.
I
So,
got
yeah.
DMCA'd for wind one time. The
Mm,
sound of wind in the forest.
Yeah,
The
but
That's
game.
these people just want to make their money, and a lot of them are just trolls anyways. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
yeah, like especially with stuff like that, or it's and I've looked into it a little bit, but like there's especially on like Snapchat and like Snapchat's still the Wild West, especially when they were doing that like creator bonus, like when they first started to monetize stuff on Snapchat, they were like pooling the money for all the top earners of or top views, and it was like $1 million a day was going to like honestly the same like 10 people every day.
What happened with Vine?
Yeah, and
I
so
I
people
still
were
don't
just
understand.
like taking other people's stuff and reposting it onto
Yeah.
Snapchat, making money off of it, and they're like kids that don't understand
Mhm.
that. Well, not even don't understand. They're like, yeah, it's super immoral. It's like, no, it's fucking illegal, you dumbass. Like,
Yeah. I still don't understand how Snapchat. It feels like an AOL Instant Messenger to me. Like I know that there's like the things like the pages and everything like that, but like it's very like one-on-one.
it's
And
very like honestly, you're 20 years too old to use it.
We
Yeah.
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 I get so many like I was trying to grow Snapchat and then I realized I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I still get a lot of people that just follow off of whatever. And now Snapchat's like, hey, we want you to check out these people. So we're going to send you notifications about them. Oh, also, these people, even though you've muted the app, this person has sent you straight messages like 30 today. And you go and you look and you're like, these are the same thing on your fucking stories. I don't want to see them again. Like,
Yes,
please
that's how
stop.
that's how I felt about Snapchat too. It's like they're doing the double post thing, and it's like, but it's you're no, I don't want to see that. Like what
that's
happened
why
to the content that was
that,
original to yeah. Like even though they
that's
were the
why I've
first
turned.
to stories, everyone else has
Yeah.
them
Mhm.
now, so it doesn't matter.
I like
That's why
Instagram stories.
that's why I've turned Snapchat notifications off because of
I turned mine
yeah.
off and now they're like popping back up. I don't
Uh,
understand.
we're old kid, and that's what it is. We're
But I
old
mean,
and the kids.
Yeah,
The
look at
kids.
as I'm wearing my compression sleeve because my arm hurts.
Dude, I was out of it
and
all day Sunday.
and this brace for my fucking oh my god.
I got down on the floor with the puppy on Sunday, and like my back was in like agony for the rest of the day, and I'm like,
you're also both really freaking tall. I don't know how you both don't have back pain
I
all the
do.
time.
But I also have fibromyalgia, which is,
Oof.
I do have back pain all the time.
Right.
I just hurt my back periodically, and then in agony for 12 plus hours, and yep.
It reminds me of that episode of Bob's Burgers where he's going out looking for the key for the safe and he's in his car and he's like digging around and he's like, oh, my back. Oh, I'm going to lay down. I'm tired. I'm old.
And
I'm so old. I'm going to take a nap.
It's funny because we go about it like when I after the movie the next day I went and hung out with Katie and Vissy again, and Katie was doing something on the floor, and then you just hear her go, oh, and then it's like stretching funny and like looks like is on those
She's
weird positions.
also tall as hell.
Yeah, she's 6 feet tall. She's a very tall lady, and
She's
I'm just
cute.
like, she's a lovely lady.
What?
And I'm like,
Wait, how tall are you, kid?
I'm 5'5".
Well, that's like normal height.
You know, but I want to be either shorter or taller. I don't.
you don't want to be shorter, and then you just needed stools everywhere to get everywhere and around. And I don't know, especially when you're all legs like I am and Katie is. We're all legs. Like I'm like 34-inch legs or some shit like that. I have long ass legs. Yeah, and a long dick, but that's besides what.
Speaking of which, go to to OnlyFans to check out Rod's dick.
My dick and my junk and I was dressed up like Princess Leia last weekend. I don't
And it
know.
was adorable.
Like I
You should
said,
go look.
it's a normal Tuesday night for Rod.
Yeah.
Go and hang
Talk
out.
about my yeah. You know what? It's funny. I want to talk about like the thing that I'm still seeing. I feel like there's this subset of these horror elitists who are still giving this movie shit because it got edited down.
Well, they
and
can
I want
suck your long john.
Yeah, they can. And that's what I was going to say. Suck my dick, motherfuckers. After last year and all the fucking
Long John.
amazing my long john, yes, my Canadian long john, my
That's
Elmer
a donut, by the way. That's a donut.
I love Long Johns.
It's a cream filled donut. It is just like my
is.
donut. Just like my donut, it's cream filled.
I call them creamsicles in Amish land. Okay.
And now you got me thinking about is that there used to be there was this really great Korean donut place by me that like shut down, and it was like every time I went in there, it was like an orgasm in my mouth. And I was thinking about it the other day, and now you made me think about it again, and now I just want donuts. Because the only other place around is fucking Dunkin' Donuts, where the average like intelligence rate of the people working in that place is like 7. Like it's real low.
See, like I'm from Canada, so we have the standard Tim Hortons.
Did you see that elitist move that he just pulled there? I'm
like,
from Canada, so
I
we
have
have the best donuts that have
no,
ever
that's not what I'm
existed.
saying whatsoever. They could have been the best donuts back in the day. They used to make them in-house. And they haven't for years. They're like
That's
a frozen
what
thing.
Dunkin' did.
Yeah, and instantly, I used to get donuts like most days, actually, at that time. I was younger. I would eat there all the time. And as soon as they changed it, I was like, what happened? And they're like, oh, we don't make them in-house anymore because it was taking up too much space. It was blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is crap, though. Like, it honestly tastes like crap now. Like, what the heck? What? I know it's saving you money and you don't need a guy in the back that knows how to bake or something, but I don't ever want to eat a donut ever again. And I don't eat donuts anymore. But I've also only been to Dunkin' Donuts like once or twice, and they were way too sweet. Like in comparison, like
if you think Dunkin' Donuts is sweet, come hang out at Krispy Kreme, because Krispy Kreme
we've
is
had
like
Krispy Kreme here for a bit, and then they got booted out because Tim Hortons was like, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, Krispy Kreme is like you take a sweet donut and you jizz sugar on it, and it's just like it's why you put so much sugar on them. They're like Twinkies; they don't decay. That's why they're like in gas stations everywhere. They hurt your teeth.
We've got multiple ones, and we've got the one that has the conveyor belts that do all the drizzling and that run them through.
Yeah.
Those are wild. But we have a place called the Donut Fryer, and they make everything in house, and they're really good. But Corbo's in Cleveland, Ohio, is the best fucking bakery, hands down, and they have the best goddamn donuts I have ever had. They make them in house, and I know this because I went in one morning, and they were still baking them, and they were like, do you want it with or without glaze since you're here early? And I was like, with, of course. And they were like, okay, don't mind it. It's still really hot. We just took it out. And I was like, oh.
That's the best. I hate when they're like, oh, no, they got to cool down. I'm like, no.
There's a huge, Polish community. I think it's like Polish community in Cleveland, like huge. And like, so you get like weird. Cleveland is a weird city, man. It really is. Like, it's like,
there's Little Italy in Cleveland too, and the main Corbo's is there, and then the Corbo's I usually go to is on Playhouse Square, and the Little Italy Corbo's is like impossible to get in, but once you get in, it's like the mecca of everything delicious. It's all Italian.
I've never even heard of it, and I haven't been there for almost 20 years, but like I haven't lived there in almost 20 years, but still,
it's so fucking good. I love it.
But anyways, my point was, suck my dick. No, it's the shit. Like, and we've talked about it here again. I think when they announced this was PG-13, stop fucking being elitist assholes about fucking horror films, right? Like, it drives me crazy that like this. I actually think that the campy nature, and I was kind of talking about it before, is amplified by it being PG-13. I think this movie actually is better because it's PG-13, and like. You just like, we had so much horror, and like I was talking to, I think I was talking to you, Ken, about it, or maybe it was Josh, I don't know, before we started recording. Like, it had trailers before Megan for Evil Dead Rise and Renfield, which were both that Evil Dead Rise trailer.
I didn't get any of those though.
I didn't get either of them.
But
where
they
did
were
you see
both
it?
Like at Alamo. The only
Yeah,
the
see,
only
like that's like that's less of a chain. It is a chain, but it's less of a chain atmosphere as
Yeah.
to like seeing
I mean-
it. Like Canada has Cineplex and that type of stuff, and that's where I saw it. And that's the like, you know, it would be like straight up PG-13 PG
Yeah.
movies for trailers. And honestly, we have to sit through like a half an hour of commercials
Oh,
first
see-
and then trailers too. So
So Alamo doesn't do that. Alamo plays like shit that's like related to what you're seeing. Like they were playing some like clips from some Mexican killer doll movie where it was just like
what?
it was like a little person in a like a lucha libre
Oh,
mask or something
that's-
like that.
See, that's
killing
what
people.
I grew up. That's what you grew up
Yeah.
with, like, and that's what I was used to growing up. But now it's like, yeah, it's so corporate feeling.
No, Alamo is the only like it is the most spoiling theater ever. But like yeah,
I
like
wish.
that Evil Dead Rise trailer was one of the most metal
Oh.
trailers I've ever seen. Like
the cheese
that-
grater. Fuck!
yes, I was gonna say that cheese grater is like I'm like which that part wasn't in the trailer at Alamo at all.
Oh,
because
yeah, of course not. Did you
that and the
see the new Ari Aster trailer today?
yes, and
What did
I
you
have-
think? Because like it broke my brain, and I'm still like putting the pieces back together from.
I was like, why is Ari Aster doing "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" like as a because it's a surrealist movie, and
Yeah,
it looks Joaquin Phoenix.
It's
it had, like-
perfectly cast for Joaquin to be in that
Yeah.
type of movie because it
Yeah,
honestly was just the most
Dude.
random shit I've ever seen.
that movie with him and was it Black Widow? Where she's his like phone AI that he falls in love with
Oh yeah,
is
her.
one of the her. Was that
I
what it was
haven't
called?
watched that yet. That
Oh,
looks
it's so good. It is
I-
so good. It is Spike Lee movie, isn't it? Or Spike
Yeah,
Jones or
Spike
no,
Jones, the
Lee.
guy who did
Spike
Moon
Jones.
and
Yeah.
stuff, or not? No, that's
Not
Duncan
Moon.
Jones. I don't know. He did something else. Whatever. But that
David
movie's
Bowie's son
wonderful.
did Moon, and I just rewatched that like last night or the night before randomly.
I love Moon. That was the movie that made me fall in love with Sam Rockwell because I had
Same.
never seen one of his movies before that.
I
Like, that was
had.
his-
I think Hitchhiker's Guide came out before that, didn't it?
it did. I've never seen Hitchhiker's
Oh
Guide
my
to the
god, watch it! It's so funny, dude. He is amazing in it.
He was in like one of those the
Dude, Hitchhiker's
Charlie's
Guide
Angels
is one of
movies.
my favorite, like, you know, just out there, hilarious fucking. It's so
Yeah.
funny, dude. It is so fucking
Yeah.
funny.
It's
and I
it's
just
one of those
rewatched
movies I
the-
missed.
The Chipmunks, or yeah, Rescue Rangers, not Chipmunks.
Oh, the one that just came out like
Yeah,
last year.
I just rewatched that last night.
Dude,
Oh,
that movie was
man, it's so good.
Dope.
It's
That
too
movie
too
was
too good.
Like it was like well, because it was the guys who did like they done like comedy shit and it was like fucking killer. That movie like surprised the living hell out of me. And I was
Every
like, yeah.
cameo, every appearance, it was so self-aware of what it wanted to do and what it was doing the entire time. That movie is too fucking good, man.
The ugly Sonic thing was like the
Yeah.
best thing of all time. The ugly Sonic. They
Oh
just
my
memeing on
God.
everything.
But that's what, because they knew exactly what they had. They had whatever they wanted. And
I mean,
references to Shrek, stuff from Dream like House and anything. Like Sonic isn't
Yeah.
Disney. The fact that they could just do whatever they wanted, and because
Yeah.
he wasn't actually Sonic, he could be in it. Fucking
Yeah.
hilarious.
I mean, dude, I'm gonna transition that, Josh, because of knowing exactly what it was. Just like Megan knew exactly what it was. Like, I think that's like
It was
this
a
movie,
pressure
like,
washer to the fucking face. Is what it
I
was.
still don't completely understand how she got killed by the pressure washer,
Because they had the
and-
chemicals.
Yeah.
but it made like her like blood was going down the fucking drain. Like I don't
The chemicals
know,
would melt her
'Cause the
face.
chemicals. Yeah, it could be like acid based.
Yeah.
maybe yeah. It like
It
I don't
showed
think
her
if that was
doing the chemicals stuff for context.
yeah.
Also, a high enough PSI is gonna
It was right
rock
close to
your
her face.
tits.
Yeah, but as you see on Josh's poster, it wasn't like a big one. It was more like Kim's a bucket that like lives with her.
I don't know if that's the actual one. That's just a 3D asset that I found, and it's in context to my favorite death scene of the movie, so I put it on the poster. I
don't know,
love
man.
looming eyes. I don't know. I put them on posters all the time. A looming eye.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's good because like, are those Megan's eyes like
Yeah.
blooming? Like, it's like she's always watching, Josh. She's
yes.
always watching.
But
I
you know,
love
it's
her
visual
little
storytelling.
charging seat.
Her what?
Her little charging seat in
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
in Katie's room. That was so
Yeah.
cute.
Dude,
I just love her resting bitch face. Like that was my favorite part of the movie. Like there are a lot of good parts, but like she has the perfect resting bitch face ever. Just like totally not impressed by anything you're doing. And
Dude.
she lets you know with a look.
they made her like Paris Hilton with those fucking glasses and look like such a cunt when she was wearing those fucking glasses. And they're memeing on them already. I saw a meme with her and Chucky, and it was like Chucky's like, "You're stealing my vibe" or something like that. And she's got the sunglasses on, and she's like, "I don't even know who you are." It's just like,
I will tell you that Megan, like anytime that you deal with any type of Chucky, Megan, any type of doll or AI, whatever, it automatically always makes me think of Robert the doll. And so I was listening to, I don't remember which podcast. No, it wasn't Chilluminati. It was some other podcast, but they were briefly covering Robert the doll. Oh, I remember who it was. And I was like, oh, somebody needs to make this into a movie because I mean, The Boy is kind of based on Robert the doll, but I'd love to see people who did Megan do a Robert the doll movie. I think that'd be badass.
they're already making a sequel, by the way. This movie
Megan?
made, yeah. I mean, they set it
Of
up,
course.
but like, also, it had a $10 million budget and made $30 million this weekend. So, like, a huge amount of money for like the investment. And like, I don't know. Again, that's the weirdest thing about movie budgets and what they make is they're not very like open with it because like they don't want to like you basically don't want to go running around and get butt fucked like live on national like television because like if your movie flops, then like yeah, so they
Yeah,
don't.
but they had
kind
the
of
viral thing going for them as well. So then they
I
did
know.
the Smile guerrilla marketing campaign and had, you know, the Megans dancing at NFL games and stuff. And like
Yeah.
that's a way better like return on investment, dollar for dollar, like for
Yeah.
like you're adding to a movement that's already happening that is adding to it and making more viral posts happen. And
Yeah.
it's just like I feel like Smile was one of the first like really, really good guerrilla marketing campaigns that is starting the whole trend again of like
Yeah.
horror movies in this budget range, understanding that TikTok is a huge asset and should be used
Yeah.
in a certain way in order for it to work for you. And this is the second movie in the same year to do the same. And I feel
Yeah.
like this is a new trend that we're going to start to see
I
done
mean,
and
I
done again.
definitely remember us seeing it with other movies, but not to the extent that Smile did and Megan did. But there's definitely been movies that did a lot that I think
Like
a
it
lot
with the
more.
balloons
Yeah,
and stuff. Like that was
that's what
cool.
I
But
was thinking
yeah,
of. Did Black Phone do anything with their balloons? Because that would have been really cool.
I don't think so because I think that the balloons were kind of more contextually in the movie and like are like
Oh, that's true.
it's more the mask that's like that made the like the marketing, and that's why the like the Josh's poster and like the main posters of the movies all
It's-
like were focusing on the mask.
I still can't believe it's on their IMDb page. It makes me so happy.
I mean, it makes Josh so hard. Josh is like, stop. I could only be so erect. Well, I mean, it's the thing about
Yes.
horror, and the thing about
100%.
horror is that like a lot of horror is these like visually like striking images, right? Like the smile, like the just that goofy grin on people's faces, like the dolls.
Yeah,
Megan
but what
has
do you
that.
think about the Evil Dead poster having the exact same smile face? Like, what the fuck is that?
I pointed that out. I think when I saw it, I was like, this poster is giving me smile vibes because I didn't want to say it was a ripoff because it is a ripoff, but like I just think it was a little weird contextually, like doing that exact fucking smile on the poster, like so close to smile, regardless of like the mother nature of this movie, you know?
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe they should just put a bloody cheese grater on the poster.
I don't know.
I
Like it helped my poster. Like I reposted it and it ended up like going bigger than my original posts and stuff. But like
yeah.
I'm happy to see franchises and just like the ability for horror to continue to be just a juggernaut for
Yeah.
investors. I love
Yep.
seeing it as like you know, a filmmaker, a business guy. I want to see more of this happen for movies, and I don't know, man. Like
Well, dude,
it excites me.
one of the things that really, really, really impressed me with this movie, I thought there was going to be a shit ton of a CGI, and there was barely any, like barely any. I think some of the stuff with Megan and like, I don't know if that dance, how much of the because the hips were rotating weird, the weird dance, but like that could have been. I don't like the eyes and everything. Like they were just like cameras. There didn't seem like there was much CG at all in the film, which was another thing that really made me dig it
And if
because
there is, then it's
it
done.
was it
Yeah, like
well.
they
It's integrated
yes.
well. Yeah,
I think
because
what they did was you know, it was a girl with a mask on, and then there was
yeah,
CG always like added on top to make it
yeah,
more. And then sound
but
effects do a lot of the work for it too. Like cuz she's
yeah.
not doing, but if there's like that sound of bzzz in the background, you're like, "Oh, okay, she is."
It It's like you know when you go watch an old 90s action film, like and when people
Okay, I
start
will.
punching each other and it sounds like you're like hitting bricks against a fucking like slab of beef or something. Like it doesn't sound anything like a punch actually sounds like. And it was real bad in the 90s, in the 80s too, a lot of it. But it's like it's the same kind of thing. It's like where you can that stuff is like memorable, but it's not always memorable in a good way. And like that they used it to like give Megan a more like that's like the AI feel, right? Like it's more like of a Terminator kind of thing, and which is like good, man. And it's like it gives you that like I think the only time I even noticed like something looking a little goofy with her was during that dance scene. Like that was the only time something looked a little off to me.
But I loved
But
it.
yeah,
It was actually done. They had a girl that came in and did it. She was a dance champion from New Zealand. Uh, yeah.
that still is impressive. Like it's like the twirling around. It's like you never know what it's when you ever see like someone who's super 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 flexible and can do crazy shit like move their like you know. So when Vissy was visiting, we were talking about it like the next day, and she can like she's double jointed with her elbows. And so it's like you ever see someone who's like can move double joint the elbow. It is fucking horrifying looking because it looks like your arm is broken. It would make Josh pass out because Josh had broken arms are not a good yeah stop it. Yeah, I'm not far behind you, Josh. Not far behind you.
Don't do it.
Which is why
Don't do it.
the like the
Stop it.
sadness got Josh so good.
Oh, that's probably one that Kin hasn't seen, The Sadness.
I haven't seen it yet. I have it written down to see it because you guys were talking about it.
It is
It's really
so basically
it's I think that's the one and I don't know. I keep saying High Tension is a one and done for me too, but honestly, I don't know about that. But
High
this is
Tension's watchable again. I'm telling
yeah,
you.
I know. But this is a movie that is a one and done. Even though like I did a poster and they liked it and used it, I still don't want to watch it again.
Yeah, it's like being kicked in the testicles and or Arby's roast beef sandwich like repeatedly almost, but like and just like it tests your endurance.
There's literally a scene in the movie where that is happening.
Yeah, that also. And the guy loves it. He's
yes.
Like, yeah, bring it. It's such a weird movie, man. But
it's
like
fuck.
Yeah. I just think that like that we need to let these movies happen because like if we don't let things like Megan happen, we're gonna start getting those fucking PG-13 slasher films that came out like after like Scream in like the late 90s, early 2000s that were like just fucking terrible. And you get things like you get that werewolf movie that Wes Craven made, and they like edited it down. The one that had Joshua Jackson, was it Cursed? Is that or Curse or whatever the fuck it was called? With Joshua Jackson and Christina Ricci, where like the studio like let him make a like a full like R-rated werewolf movie, and then like edited everything down and like CG'd over everything, and like like
wasn't that like the overnight one where like everything was nighttime for a long time or something?
I don't know. I never saw the movie. I saw someone talking about it earlier, but
I saw everything.
Probably. I've never seen the movie because it got shit on so bad when it came out, and I'm like, I don't want to see Wes Craven doing things that make me sad. But like,
You said Joshua Jackson?
I thought he was in it.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's what that movie was called, Curse or something like that. But like, it's the thing where it's like, this movie does such a good job. If it was rated R and gory shit, toning it down to what it is, because dude, once you figure out that this movie was written by the same person as Malignant, you go, oh, okay, this makes complete sense. And Malignant,
okay.
yeah, you're like, oh, it's batshit crazy. Yeah, see, you can do batshit crazy movies. Just acknowledge it's batshit crazy. Don't try to act like you're fucking making like a fucking Academy Award winning like drama. You're making something that like embrace the silliness, right? Embrace the silliness.
Malignant was and if James Wan is, I feel like, okay, he's made this insane franchise that's made like over $2 billion, the Conjuring universe for Warner Brothers, and then Malignant was like, okay, you can just do whatever the hell you want, and he's just like, really, okay, really, I'm gonna test you on that, and then he went and did that, and for this to come out as his like first out of the gate like team up with Blumhouse, I feel like it's the perfect little like tester to see what they're capable of getting away with.
Yeah.
And in the PG-13 world as well, which is something that isn't touched very often, especially by like well-known stuff. Like
yeah,
the PG-13 movies that we are getting nowadays are ones trying to have a wider audience, but also it's to get more money back from any type of investment that they had. But they're usually shit. And but The Conjuring wasn't. Oh no, The Conjuring was R-rated.
The Conjuring's Insidious was
Insidious, yes, and Insidious had some fucking great, like heavy hitting scares. Still to this day, that one shot of that guy standing behind her in this, it fucked me up so bad, man. That shit just it affects me.
You talk about Signs all the time and how that traumatized you.
And it's that easy shit though. Like that's the stuff that like gets to me. And
I mean, again, I think we talked about it last week. The Paranormal Activity, or I talk about it all the time. Paranormal Activity and Blair Witch Project both don't show shit. But they don't need to show shit because they just fucking like those movies could have been PG-13 easy. They just add language to make them adult. You know, they don't show anything. So that's the kind of thing. And yes, it was cursed. And the Joshua Jackson was a supporting character. It was Christina Ricci and Jesse Eisenberg were the two main characters. But yeah, they fucked that one up real bad.
Did either of you see Men yet?
No. But I need to, because it keeps getting like. You down talked it after you saw it, Josh, and so I never
down talked it. I said it was fucked up, and I didn't want to talk about it.
Yes, it's on my list. Ken, have you seen it?
No.
That is the guy from that's the Ex Machina guy did it, right?
Yeah, but
Annihilation.
It's so fucking weird. It's so weird.
Yeah, well, I know the premise now, where it's like the chick goes to the town and like every single guy is the same face. Like
no. Just wait until you watch it. But the funny thing in my like group chat of my like old bandmates and stuff, my guitar player was like, oh, have any of you watched Men? And I was just like, oh man, it was so fucked. He's just like, okay, so just make sure your mom watches it before Christmas dinner. I'm like, no, do not do that to your mom.
I don't want to know, or I mean, it's on my list because I love Ex Machina. My wife hated that movie for some reason. I still don't know
Ex
why.
Machina
I
is
loved
so
that.
good.
Yeah,
I
love
thought
that
it was
movie.
so good.
And Annihilation is that fucking bear, man. That bear will haunt me.
Annihilation was so good.
I finally, by the way,
that's a polarizing movie because it's like cilantro. You either love it or you hate it. There's no middle ground with that movie. I've never heard anyone that was like, yeah, it's all right. It's either
Megan's
like,
like
no,
that.
I fucking hated it. And Annihilation, I fucking loved it. And I know
did
people
too.
that didn't like it at all. I'm like,
Dude,
what?
The ending I think I watched videos about after because the ending gets fucking whacked out.
On
But, like,
Annihilation?
yeah, at
Yeah.
the like with the mimic thing and everything like that. And then I was like, they don't really they kind of like let you imply things at the end, and I'm just like, okay. Okay.
But we also said we were going to talk about The Menu this week. We could talk about it next week because we all did watch it, and it is really good.
Yeah, we could talk about it next week. That's fine with me.
I'm game.
Yeah, I'll watch it again anyways. Dude, I have to say that the opening sequence with the Megan with the when I say okay, I have a community member who's one of my mods, and she has a Furby fetish, and the generic Furbies in this movie.
Oh, so good with the teeth.
Ken's got a Furby, and
wait, where is she?
Yeah. Well, dude, was it Mitchell's versus the Machines and the giant Furby was
so
horrifying.
Good.
That movie was so good. By the way, Classy Katie makes a joke all the time that movie was like ripped off from her because like there were a lot of similarities.
I fucking but that movie, and we have clips from that movie at the beginning of our show every week.
Yep.
So yeah,
because they make the moose noises.
Yep.
But the generic Furbies were horrifying, and they shit everywhere. And they have the generic Furbies that their asses light up to like whatever. But the Furby shits, and it looks like the Furbo defense, like the dog cameras that you could spit treats out of.
I mean, like, it throws me back to did you guys ever watch Borderlands? Not Borderlands. That's a game. Oh fudge, what's the name of that show? Anyway, there's a show where it's gone. ADHD brain said no.
Brain was like, nope, it didn't get out early enough, fast enough.
It's gone.
It's okay.
Forever.
Maybe I'll hope come back.
Forever.
But the generic Furbies were horrifying and also like funny as shit. And the fact that they this is why my wife, whenever she sees me saying I have to talk, she goes, okay. Talk right now, because if you don't, your brain will like jump 3 subjects from that, and then you'll never remember.
At least she gets it. People that don't understand, that is hard because you're trying to be polite, and it is the hardest thing because it's like, oh, you're not going to let me talk? Okay, well, I'm literally not listening to you now because I have to hold on to this right now. And what did you say? Oh, you wanted me to, now, well, fuck you.
So what I was thinking of was there's a show called Border Town. And on Border Town, it's I think it's on Hulu, maybe it's on Netflix, I don't know. But there's a scene with the little girl who's like running around, and she's like, "Daddy, I want this doll, and this doll does all this, so I gotta have it, Daddy." So he buys her the doll. Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. He buys her the doll. And he takes the doll home, and the doll has like the online app, like how in M3gan, like the Furbies have the app that you can play with. The doll has the app, and she's like trying to sync hundreds of dollars into this doll because at one point the doll falls off her horse and breaks her head and is in the hospital, and the hospital bill is $3,000, and you got to use your mama's credit card to pay for it. And you're just like, so I thought of that immediately when I was watching M3gan, because I was like, oh.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Border town.
Kim disappeared off the screen for a second. That was weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
laughed.
even weirder, as she disappeared off the screen, my laundry room light turned off at the same time.
Maybe
I am pure laundry room light.
Are you astral projecting into Josh's basement? That's what the next question is. Okay, I knew it.
What the hell?
I knew it.
There's something crazy going on here.
Bum bum bum. Yeah. I just think that this movie is such a perfect example of what horror can be. And I think the term, Josh, I'm amazed you haven't said it yet, but this movie is accessible horror. Accessible horror. It's a key statement we like to use on this podcast, but it's something that is easy for little kids to get into. As long well,
that's why I was like getting my 13-year-old niece like amped up too, because I wanted to make sure that she was like fucking pumped for this. And I'm like, no, like seriously, guys, like see this one because it's fucking fun.
I would suggest that you warn small children if you're taking them, like, you know, like 12, 13, 14-year-olds to see this.
No, she's totally into horror, and we watched Scream, the new Scream together and stuff. So
nice.
Like, yeah.
I think the most traumatic part of this whole fucking movie would be the dog. But the dog, they do a good job of making you go, fuck that dog, because the dog is the dog asshole.
Sucks.
Just like
the dog sucks.
It's hard, man. Like when you have like a dog getting ended prematurely in a movie, I don't want to see anything. And they were doing it while it was still kind of like they're acting like they're trying to hide that M3gan's not a monster. Even though if you're watching, you're like, oh shit, here we go again. Here's another evil doll. Like, you know, it's funny. Like I thought that like you were saying, Josh, the Child's Play movie, like pulled this same kind of thing off, but it was that weird thing that like in the back of my brain the whole time I was watching that movie, I'm like, but it's not voodoo. But it's not voodoo, but it's not voodoo, but it's not. And this movie didn't have that. Like, you don't have any. That's what happens when you get a new franchise and do something wild. You don't have to worry about like, oh, because it's Freddy Krueger's face looks like a scorched testicle instead of like, you know, what the original one did. It's that thing where you like, you do original horror and you don't have these expectations like of what you came from. You're just doing a random crazy fucking idea, even though it's like not the most original idea. Killer dolls have been a thing for a very, very, very long time in cinema. Like as long as movies have been a thing, basically. So it's like, it's not like you're doing something the most, but like we talked about, Smile is the one Josh, we talk about a lot, where it's like, it's not the most original plot, but it's executed well. And this movie goes, okay, we're gonna do a kill. Yeah, we're not gonna like reinvent the wheel. It's like a really good pizza, right? A really good pizza isn't like, oh my God, I've never thought of pizza. It's like, no,
they're doing the Raising Cane's thing. They're doing one thing really, really well. Chicken fingers. Yeah. That's it. That's all they care.
I still have never been to that place because
Me neither, but I want to. I've heard nothing but like, oh my God.
They have one by me, but every time I go by the motherfucker, the line is like ridiculous. And I'm like, nah, man, I don't want chicken that badly. And like, I went and waited for fucking In-N-Out for half an hour like last month, and that was more than enough for me. But like, yeah, I just think that like, what, Ken? What?
I'm just laughing at the puppy. That's all. I can hear its squeaky toy, and it's cute.
Yeah. She's a little monster, man. She's a little monster. But my old man dog just turned 16 yesterday, so he's officially like, he can legally drive a car now. And we bought him a fucking cheeseburger, and it was like, we thought it was gonna be like cheap, and it was like that, and a dog ice cream was like $10. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's like a $6 cheeseburger.
What?
Yeah.
I have a friend who gives his dog 2 big ass ribeyes for his birthday every year, like full size, big ass ribeyes. The dog is so well behaved. So you know,
I mean,
I
if you're
guess.
like, if you're going, okay, if I give you a ribeye every year and you keep your shit together, I think that's like an acceptable agreement, man. I think
Honestly,
that's
if I had that dog, I would do the same. As
yeah.
long as I could. But he is the best fucking dog. Love him.
I love a good dog, man. And then I have Gizmo, and so here we are. I love Gizmo. He's been all cute lately because I think he's like, no, daddy, I'm the baby. Not the poodle. Oh no, the daddy. Like he's jumping up into my lap during work. I'm like, okay, you little fucking, what do, you little shit? So obviously there was two things that the last shot of this film really set up for a sequel, but they also did something else that set up for a sequel with the worst character in the movie, who was named Kurt. I think that was his name in the movie, Kurt, but like who stole all the code for Megan, right? And
were you porn hubbing at work again? Dude,
I really like. Now you said that, and now all it made me think of was Ronnie Ching. Is that how you say his name? And all the things that guy has been in, because I'm like, he killed it. Like he might have been the best like character in the whole movie. But I was sitting there going, what have I seen this motherfucker in? And he was in Godzilla versus Kong, and he was in Crazy Rich Asians, which I still have never seen, but like he was a real good character in that movie. I really, really liked him. Like he was one of the ones that like made it like so all the like, corporate bullshit was like that they were doing to get story elements. Josh is jerking off with the Thanos glove, but I'm not sure why.
Because I can.
Josh, your penis is not that big. I hate to tell you.
I'm left-handed. This sucks.
I'm gonna fist Josh. Fist him.
What is this show?
Who knows, Josh? Who knows? But yeah, I am excited for
Ken's just like
I don't know what the fuck's happening, but I'm in for it. I'm excited for a sequel. They said they're already developing a sequel. I'm excited for whatever. I bet you in 3 months they put out an R-rated cut of this movie or unrated cut, and they make another bunch of money on a weekend. I'll go see it again, because this is another thing. This movie, this is one of those movies.
It's a nice light snack.
Well, it's a nice light snack, but it's a perfect movie to go see with a theater full of people, because
that's what I say about Smile as well, because Smile hits hard in a theater and you can play off of the people's reactions. Same with Barbarian. I'm so happy I saw all three of these in theaters, because I was laughing at the uncomfortableness of and the cringiness factor that this movie has, but plays into and does so well. And it was just like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. And I just started laughing. It was good.
Me and
it
Zeke
wasn't a
laughing.
full theater, but it was, there was enough people to have an experience.
We were at like the 1040 show, like I said, but like me and Zeke were like laughing at the same insane shit that they just embrace. They do insane shit in this movie, and they're just like, you're just like, and they just roll it perfectly. Like, it's like, we're going to throw crazy shit at you, and not like, yep. I mean, that's all I can say. Like, we're not spoiling this movie, really. There's like some, I mean, we've done little spoilers, but like I think that like there was like you said, Josh, this is like a perfect light snack horror film. Like, and I'm so like, it is so refreshing, because January, like, this is the first horror movie of the year, and it wasn't a shit movie that they dumped out to like, because nothing else was coming out.
I feel like the amount of movies that have come and rescued months that used to be the shit stain of the year, that it's like, oh yeah, just put it out in February because nothing good comes out in February. And then Deadpool's like, well, fuck you guys. Like, I'll
Oh,
show you.
Ant-Man comes out next month. And
No, I know, but like in
I know,
general,
it's
like that was like one
yeah.
of the first movies to come out and just be like, no, I'm claiming this spot of the year as good movie territory again, and like big, massive potential to make insane amounts of money with an R-rated, like
What's that crazy fucking the guy who wrote Scream? We were talking about the slasher movie. Like someone in my Discord, I
Oh,
think, tagged me
Sick.
or whatever. Yeah, Sick. That comes out.
That's like a
next.
Peacock movie though. So
I know, but what does that mean? We're gonna. I'm talking about like just things that are coming out that are like again.
yeah.
I know but I want to talk.
Like
if
the
that's
story
good,
is totally and what looks like the execution of it looks Peacock, adjacent.
Yeah.
It looks very like meant for a platform and not for a movie theater.
Yeah, but man, it's weird how a good like the horror movie like Megan, or we talk about Barbarian, or dude, seeing Malignant in theaters would have been fucking amazing. And like I don't remember if that was even actually in theaters. I don't think it was. I think it was just in HBO Max, or was it?
No,
I think so.
I don't know. When did it come out? In fucking the Dead
like,
Zone?
It was like in 2021, where like the movies were there, but like I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
September 10th, 2021.
Yeah.
So I would assume it probably was. Oh no, it's got box office money listed on it, but I don't know if how they counted that during.
One of the first movies I saw in theaters that had like a full theater experience after 2020 was that Ryan Reynolds movie.
Free Guy?
Free Guy, yeah.
I think the first one I saw was Spider-Man, which was like a perfect like going back to the movie kind of thing.
I saw that too, and it was like uncomfortably packed. It was a full house in IMAX. And then like there was restrictions again the next week, and I was like, fuck, I really don't feel good about seeing it like completely like next to someone
in a COVID box. Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, so it was released in theaters, but it was also available to stream on HBO Max.
Yeah, which is what Halloween Kills did and Halloween Ends did this year. We saw it in Halloween Ends in the theater, but like the same thing. It kind of kills movies. Yeah, I know.
I'm
you
glad
didn't.
I didn't. I don't think it was worthy.
Okay. Whatever. I had a good time with it, but yeah, it was. I like seeing it with people. I like just that experience, man. Especially after taking it away from me for like a year and a half. I was like, yes, I will go see, these kind of things, and I will enjoy the living shit out of them. So
he shit all over it. What are you talking about?
I didn't shit all over it.
I'm kidding.
I didn't shit. I'm gonna shit all over you, Josh.
I know.
Directly into your mouth.
No way, I can do that.
Dude, no butt on YouTube. No booty on YouTube.
Well,
I just shat on your head.
Oh man. Oh man. But yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to say, I think we've hit most of the things. Like this movie is just fun. It's like it's well done. It's executed, embraces its absurdity well, and just it's a dope fucking movie, man. And I am very excited that this is we're starting 2023 off with a fucking awesome horror movie, and we got a lot coming out, man. Like it's like Evil Dead Rise. I knew Renfield was gonna look awesome, but man. And also, I hear Nicolas Cage isn't even in that much. That's what he said. He's not even in that movie all that much. It's just a Nicholas, what do you call him? I love how that movie looks like they're like just embracing the modern culture really well, kind of like Megan did. And you talked about this. I want to say one more before I wrap up about Megan. This movie, like you said, it had a lot of heart, but it talks about like shut up, Josh. It does social things.
You saying that. I looked at Ken and her and I. We just like hit that spot where we're just like, not against you. I'm not actually digging on you this time. For one, it's yes. I love you, Rod. Okay, don't worry.
I love you too, Josh. I love you. That this movie addresses. That's why like the horror aspects of this movie. It's a horror movie, but like there's a lot of other things in this film. Like you talked about, like how a child deals with loss. is such a thing that doesn't get tackled in horror all that much, right? But like usually you get shitty things like the what's her name in Halloween 5, who's now a mute for fucking reason. Daniel Harris's character. But like they do a thing with like Lost and the thing about like what technology does to kids and like all that stuff on the side of like whatever. Also, it's a weird thing. I don't know if the price of M3gan was weird to me because they spent like $100,000 developing her, but they're developing her, right? And then they were gonna sell M3gans for like
10 Gs.
10K.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like,
well, I mean, I would assume that they were, even though the guy who, or David's character or whatever, was like, oh, we got to push this through as fast as possible, blah, 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 blah. But I would assume the research and development that would come after that would have to be astronomical. So they were probably trying to figure out a way to do that. But I can't imagine the development of the doll, like all of it, only being $100,000 for your initial prototype. I would assume it would be way higher.
well, that's the thing, and that's like a lot of the Furbies were like the base code of a lot of stuff, it seemed like. And then like the so you're just like developing the parts and shit like that, right? And like the software, like Gemma's character is a really fucking smart like programmer in this, and yeah, it is. She does a really. I mean, like, I just fucking love what they did with this movie. Just like the absurdity, everything, and I feel like it. Like a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, this movie will still be. That's how good this film is. It's like a memorable film that you're just like, and again, accessible horror. Accessible. You could put this movie on with kids running around the house, like. Unless you have like 6-year-olds that are like scared by anything, like you could have this movie on in like not offending people, right? Which is cool. So like for Halloween parties and shit like that, right? So shut up, Josh.
I didn't say anything, Rod.
I saw that face.
I didn't say a fucking thing.
I know you didn't. It's okay. I still love you. I still love you. You big dweeb.
He wouldn't let me. He wouldn't let me.
Help! Help! Josh needs an adult. Help! Help! Josh needs an adult.
Oh my god.
Okay, so are we doing the menu next week?
Sure.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
We all already watched it. We could have did both. We could have did a slash and cast podcast.
It's
week,
late. I have to go rebuild it. I have to build a new PC. I just want to. I actually might talk to CK and see if she wants to come talk to Menu because she loved the movie. So maybe I do that too. And so we have our first time with 4 people.
Our first foursome.
All the genitals. All the genitals. Okay. Anything else? Either one of you guys. Ken, anything else you want to say? As Josh is having a seizure. Anything else you want to say about this before we wrap up? That
The only thing I want to say is I really love this. I really hope that this brings back kind of like the creepy doll vibe. I know that the boy exists, but I'd love to see something that's more detailed with Robert the doll. And I think that this might open up a lot of doors for stuff. I just hope it doesn't get ran into the ground too hard.
And I just want to say,
I mean, Hollywood runs stuff into the ground, right? It's like one of the things.
Yeah.
Like when something's successful, they do like a bunch of it, and which is why like fucking the 80s drove slashers into the ground, and they were dead for a little while until Scream came out, right? So it's like just like the Japanese remakes in the 2000s and like the torture porn in the late 2000s, and like shit gets run in the ground. So just when shit start getting bad, you just gotta go, nope, not gonna go see it. So Josh, anything else you want to say about it?
Give it a shot. Like, I know that some of the trailers were cut to appeal to a younger audience. If we haven't sold it to you by now, well then just fucking put a dick in your ear. I don't know. Just
King Kong's dick in your ear.
Yeah.
That's the only dick that's gonna go in your ear. Everything is harder when you have King Kong's dick in your ear. That's like the measurement of how Zeke challenge says
That's
a hard game. You play Dark Souls with King Kong's dick in your ear, and then and that makes everything harder. So Okay. Yeah, I'm the
just
same.
anything. Just fucking put a dick in your ear. I don't know.
I mean,
The Last of Us comes out on Sunday on HBO.
Yeah, I can't
Josh's
wait to see.
neighborhood.
I know. I can't wait to see. Like, dude, this city was fucked. Like they were like, no, we got HBO money. Calgary, we don't fucking care. Like this is closed and this and you're not getting there. And
Who cares about Calgary? There's
It
like
was-
7 people that live there.
there's fucking 1.5 million people that live here. What are you talking about?
That's like in the entire Providence, isn't it?
No, in Calgary, there's over 1 million people that
Oh.
live here. Calgary population 1.336
That's a lot of
as
people.
of
That might be more-
2017. So it's like,
That's
yeah, it's 1.5.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm excited for that. And
1.6 actually.
The reviews
Wow.
have been really good for this. I was saying the other day because like my buddy Dr. Claus, his wife is reviews TV shows like online. That's her gig. And they hadn't started watching it yet, but like none of us have seen clickers. Like the clickers, they haven't shown any clickers anywhere. I bet they're out there if you go looking for them, but like I'm excited to see how they handle that. And although Ellie looks a little not like Ellie in my mind, the little girl looks like she does a good job, and it sounds like she does a good job. So I'm excited for it. So
I can't wait. It's definitely one that I'll be watching for sure. Just like the Calgary love and the amount of people I've met that I didn't even know were working on the show that I know personally that worked on the show. And
Yeah.
and just, it's so cool to see something that I played because I haven't played a lot and loved. And it's a property that I'm very excited got an HBO treatment, not just a treatment, but an HBO treatment. So it's the expectations are high.
Those games are so incredibly good. Like I don't replay games, and I've replayed the first one like 3 or 4 times, and the second one I've only played once because that fucking game is long, and it also kicks you in the dick emotionally a lot.
I watched my buddy Ian on his stream play it. That's the only time I played it is watching someone else play it.
So
the second one, not the first. First one I played a
both
couple
of them
times. Yeah.
And they're such good games. So yeah, I'm excited for that. So we'll talk the menu next week, which we were going to do this week, but Megan happened. So I was giving Josh shit. We like Megan was a thing that
Rod just likes to give me shit.
I love shitting directly into his mouth. It's true. So everyone, thank you for listening. We will catch you next week. Oh, before we do that, let's do plugs. Murdermoose.com, Murders Pod or podcast, whatever it is on Twitter, all that stuff.
That's a that's a moose, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Murdermoose.com. And check us out there. Find us on YouTube. Do all that shit. Josh WRB on Twitter and joshwrb.com and all that stuff. Rod_Johnson on Twitter and Twitch. Continue on everything besides Instagram. I think it's what? And then she's got stdhotel.com and STD Motel and Only Nouns. And shut up, Josh.
Wee.
I hope
have a good night.
Yeah, I hope every Canadian hockey team loses a lot. And go Avalanche. But we'll catch you guys next week for the menu. We love you. Catch you next week. Bye.
Bye. I love messing with you, Rod. I love it. It's so easy. That gets such a way bigger reaction than you get out of